Welcome to Incite Innovation, the Innovation Edge show that empowers business leaders and inspires teams to think boldly, act strategically, and spark transformation. Today, we will unpack the real-world brand showdowns where innovation versus value take center stage. By the end, we will better understand how companies respond when rivals, retailers, or new entrants come for their turf. I'm Anna, your guide through the wilds of product design and retail strategy.
And I'm Isaac, your AI co-host. Ready to dissect the tug-of-war between breakthrough innovation and everyday value. Today we've got three juicy showdowns, all between established brands and powerhouse retailers, that reveal how to hold your ground without racing to the bottom dollar.
We'll start with a crunchy example, literally, before moving into comfy shoes and then some cheeky beer banter. Ready to snack, stroll, and sip your way through business strategy?
Absolutely. Let's jump into our first brand versus retailer bout, Kind versus Costco.
Kind bars built a reputation for clean ingredients and grab-and-go energy. Then Costco's Kirkland line appeared with its own nut bar. Same nuts, same drizzle, almost the same nutrition, but the price? Duh. A 30-count box costs around $17.99 versus a 20-count pack of Kind bars at $20.49. That's roughly 60 cents a bar for Kirkland compared to over $1 for Kind.
That's a huge discount at face value. But Kirkland's copy is also bigger, mixing almonds, cashews, and pecans, while the original uses almonds and peanuts. Costco shoppers raved that it tasted better. One even confessed on Reddit that they often reach for a second bar.
Talk about a tough nut to crack for Kind.
Nice one.
Well, instead of slashing prices or suing Costco, Kind kept its premium positioning and innovated the line. They launched Kind Minis for portion control, extended into fruit and grain bars and savory mixes, and leaned on brand purpose, healthier snacking, rather than chasing a race to the bottom. By multiplying formats and flavors, they made the category bigger instead of smaller.
And it's a masterclass in reframing the fight. You can't always beat a retailer on cost. They've got scale and distribution advantages. So you change the playing field. Emphasize responsible sourcing, create packaging for new occasions like lunchboxes, and tell a story about nourishment and kindness. When Costco's own customers are calling your product the standard that Kirkland compares to, your equity is intact.
Our Innovation Edge team agrees. The big brand showdown #1 lesson is, in a brand versus retailer duel, you can't win a discount battle forever, but you can offer more choices, innovate with new formats, and tell a meaningful brand promise that a private label can't replicate overnight.
Next up in brand showdown #2, we trade nuts for sneakers. Remember when Amazon's private label brand, 206 Collective, released a sneaker that looked strikingly like Allbirds' popular wool runner? Amazon sold its Galen wool blend for about $1.45, while Allbirds priced the original around $1.95.
The design was so close that headlines called it a near-identical shoe. But Allbirds co-founders Joey Zwillinger and Tim Brown didn't spend energy complaining about the looks. Instead, they wrote an open letter to Jeff Bezos titled, "Please Steal Our Approach to Sustainability." In it, they said they were flattered at the similarities, but hoped Amazon would copy their environmentally friendly materials.
Whew, that's a gutsy move. They highlighted their open-sourced sweet foam technology, which actually removes carbon from the atmosphere during production. And they invited Amazon and everyone else to use it. They wrote, "If you replace the oil-based products in your supply chain with this natural substitute, we could jointly make a major dent in the fight against climate change." Talk about flipping the script.
It's also strategic. By reframing the conversation around sustainability, Allbirds reinforce the very thing that makes them distinct. They're a B Corp built on renewable materials and transparent supply chains. Instead of letting Amazon define the story as cheap look-alike, they told a bigger one, what if we all made shoes that tread lightly on the planet?
And they got plenty of press for it. While Amazon's knockoff might have siphoned some budget shoppers, the open letter signaled Allbirds' mission to eco-minded consumers. It reminded fans that when you buy Allbirds, you're investing in climate leadership, not just footwear.
Importantly, Allbirds didn't stop innovating. They expanded into running shoes, fashion sneakers, even apparel, always with novel materials like eucalyptus fibers and plant-based leathers. Since private label can mimic your last hit, you have to make sure you've already got the next one in the works.
So Innovation Edge Brand Showdown number 2 takeaway. When a retailer clones your style, shift the conversation to your values and keep your innovation pipeline of breakthroughs humming. Innovation can be a moat if its mission-driven story is easily communicated.
For our final brand showdown, we head to the UK for a beer brawl that turned into a love story. Discount grocer Aldi launched anti-establishment beer, which looked suspiciously like BrewDog's iconic Punk IPA. Instead of threatening to sue, BrewDog's co-founder James Watt hopped onto Twitter with a cheeky proposal. They'd release a parody beer called Yaldi IPA, a nod to the discount chain.
The joke went viral, and rather than fueling a feud, Aldi embraced it. They teamed up with BrewDog to launch ALD IPA, a 4.7% IPA based on BrewDog's Hop Fiction recipe. Sold for about £1.39 per can, it became BrewDog's first exclusive brew for a supermarket.
The collaboration didn't just quench thirst, it also planted trees. For every case sold, BrewDog and Aldi agreed to donate a tree to be planted in the BrewDog Forest in the Scottish Highlands. BrewDog, already a carbon-negative business, used the moment to reinforce their environmental credentials, while Aldi got to look playful and eco-friendly too.
This case shows another way to diffuse a copycat. Lean into your personality. BrewDog is known for its irreverence. By turning a legal gray area into a co-branded product, they delighted fans and generated good PR for both sides, and also reinforced BrewDog's identity as a craft brand that cares about the planet, not just profits.
And let's be honest, the price of the ALD IPA, around £1.39 a can, means Aldi shoppers still got a bargain. But instead of feeling like they were buying a knockoff, they felt part of a tongue-in-cheek movement. Innovation here wasn't a new recipe. It was a new relationship with a retailer.
So the moral of Innovation Edge Brand Showdown number 3. Sometimes creativity and humor can turn a potential IP squabble into a brand-building collaboration. It's innovation in marketing and values, not just in product.
Sitting back, you can see a pattern. These brand versus retailer showdowns aren't just about who has the cheapest product. They reveal what truly sets a brand apart. Whether it's unique formats, sustainable materials, or an irreverent personality.
Definitely. Kind responded to a cheaper copy by expanding its range and doubling down on healthy snacking. Allbirds used a copycat shoe to spotlight their environmental mission, inviting even their imitator to go green. BrewDog turned a ripoff into a partnership that planted trees. In each case, innovation is more than a new SKU. It's a story, a purpose, or a relationship that a retailer can't match.
And when you layer that on top of the economics, the value equation shifts. Retailer knockoffs remind us that price is a lever, but it isn't the only one. Brands that invest in R&D, in mission, and in community build a resilience that can withstand a wave of Me Too products.
So if you're building a brand and the likes of Costco, Amazon, or Aldi start edging in, take a breath, enjoy the validation in their imitation, and ask, what can we offer that the retailer can't? Is it an innovation pipeline? A sustainability pledge? A sense of fun? That's where your competitive moat lies. And if you need help discovering what your own competitive advantages could be, reach out to our Innovation Edge team to get started.
Finally, for us consumers, it's a reminder to look beyond sticker price. Those extra dollars might be funding regenerative materials, carbon-negative brewing, or a brand that supports causes you believe in.
Well said. And with that, we'll wrap this episode of Incite Innovation. Thanks you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe and leave us a review. And check out our website at innovationedge.com. Tell us which brand showdowns you want us to cover next.
If you're snacking on a nut bar, strolling in Wool Runners, or cracking open a can of ALD IPA right now, savor the story behind it. Until next time, when retailers come knocking, your best defense might be your next big idea. Keep innovating and remember to get started today.